Hello all, here with a new video for you today, and today I want to talk to you about my number one tip for new Linux users. My number one tip for new Linux users is not what you're going to typically see in these like top 5 tips for new Linux users type of videos. Instead, my tip is very simple: humility. You should approach switching to Linux with humility. I mean, to be honest with you, that's pretty good advice for pretty much everything in life. There's a reason that humility has been considered a great virtue since ancient times, like even Aristotle talked about it. But the reason that I say this in regards to Linux in particular is because oftentimes when you're switching to Linux, it doesn't just mean that you're switching operating systems, but you're going to be switching pretty much entire workflows. For example, Adobe products do not work on Linux. So instead of using something like Adobe Premiere, you might end up having to learn how to use Kdenlive instead, which is what I use. The problem is, though, when you come in and you just try to make it work like Windows, you're not going to have a good time. We've all seen this before. Anyone who's been in the Linux community long enough has seen this before, where you get these people that they come into the Linux community, they think they know everything, they're too smart to learn anything, and instead of actually trying to learn how to use Linux and the Linux workflows, what they do is they come in and they try to treat it like free Windows. And then they end up, it doesn't work for them because it's not free Windows. That's not how it works. And these are the people that ends up coming up with all kinds of cope, like, oh, bro, it's not 1985 anymore. Why do I have to use the terminal? Or, oh, I just don't have time to learn all of this. And like I said, they're what Luke Smith calls too smart to learn. And you know what? That's a great video that he made. And everyone sees these people for what they are. It's cope. Instead of coming into Linux and trying to force all your old workflows and all that old preconceived notions on it, you should approach it with an open mind. Think about Linux like your first week at starting a new job, okay? If you go in there and you're humble and you're willing to learn and you're willing to let go of your preconceived notions and take in this company's culture and learn about how they do things, you know, you're probably going to have a much better time than if you come in and you're kind of like, well, I already know how to do all this and blah, 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 blah. And you try to impose everything from your old company onto your new company. Yeah, that kind of attitude, people don't generally like that very much. And this really translates to the forums as well. See, when you're on like the Arch forums or the Mint forums, everyone that's on there, they're not there because they're being paid to be there because it's their job. They're there as a passion project. So if you come in and you start being all like an entitled brat, basically, yeah, you're not going to have a good time. We've all seen this a million times. Nobody's going to like you, and everyone's going to think you're a moron. As to whether or not the Linux workflows are better than the Windows workflows, that's kind of a whole other video, and that's a whole other topic. I would say in some cases yes, in some cases no. The general trend is that they're better, though, is because of less ads and Linux not trend chasing, but that's a complex topic for another video. So you should always approach everything in life with humility, and especially switching to Linux. So don't forget to like and subscribe and pray every day.